Well, in some ways, they'll be relieved because it might give us an opportunity to, end the trade war that is ongoing with the US and China and EU and so on. On the other hand, the, courts interfering in the process can be provocative to President Trump. As much as I don't like tariffs and want to see them gone, the sort of legal interference in the elected, president of the day, I think can backfire. So I'm a little bit worried about it, even though, obviously I'd prefer there not to be tariffs.
Has had the effect of throttling development of new, highly modernized nuclear reactors that could really revolutionize the field of nuclear power generation. So this executive order, it orders a revised regulatory process to speed this whole process.
It's interesting because the court has said that the president sort of overstepped in that he used emergency powers being trade deficits, which, are really not an emergency at all in economics. But that probably means, perhaps if he puts economic sanctions on Russia or Iran, to what extent can the courts interfere in that? They may decide that sanctions is of geopolitical significance, but tariffs are not. So it does get us into some murky waters, I think, legally into what's the role of the president and the Congress as opposed to the courts. We don't know with appeals, do you? Because I imagine there'd be appeal to this court and then an appeal to the Supreme Court. So it could take a long time. I mean, if it does, courts move pretty slowly. So perhaps whilst there's a lull and no tariffs, perhaps some deals can be done globally, and we can get a bit of relief and, have people see the folly of their ways. Really, in some ways, you've got to remember China started the trade war, tariffs on Australia, for instance, that they put on wine and barley and wood and timber and so on. So, it's not just Trump putting tariffs on. There's a number of nations, including China, doing it. My fear is it's just a provocative act by activist judges, which, immigration, trade, whatever you think of the actual policies, once the judges decided they should get involved, then it can be actually quite provocative and counterproductive. And that's the concern I have, that could, basically provoke the administration into even bigger action.
He built a big part of his electoral campaign based on tariffs, and he did introduce tariffs. Now tariffs were overruled, and I suspect that politically he can now blame the court for the failure of this policy. So I am not sure whether it will be a major blow to his political standing and to his support. It is very hard to predict what will happen and what happens if, for example, the administration chooses not to comply with the ruling of the court. We have seen tension between court rulings and the current administration in the past. So it is, again, uncharted waters, very hard to tell what is happening, but at least this round, the administration and Donald Trump did not win. It definitely creates some certainty in the future, and industries and countries that were not subject to tariffs or not subject to high tariffs, they can sleep a little bit better tonight, and markets, they do react negatively when uncertainty increases and vice versa. So from this point of view, maybe it is not only about the economic effect of tariffs, but it is also about the rules that the U.S. and the rest of the world are playing are established more firmly. We have more understanding of what to expect from tomorrow.